Good morning, everyone. My name is Travis. My case presentation is going to be on a client who left my program against staff advice, even though he was on recovery court and probation in 3 different counties. In this presentation, I will analyze the key events, the underlying issues, and propose possible interventions. And the main crux of this presentation is the challenges faced by individuals in court mandated treatment. So let's get into it. So I'm going to be calling him John Doe to protect his identity. He was mandated to treatment at Freedom House, which is an American Society of Addiction Medicine Level 3.1 halfway house. He was serving probation in 3 different counties in the local area, and he was also on recovery court. And despite these legal obligations and the staff recommendations, he chose to leave the program against staff advice, as stated earlier. This decision actually led to him having a warrant issued for his arrest. I spoke to his probation officer, and that's what the conclusion was. I recently found out he called a coworker of mine to try to get back into the program, but unfortunately, it's not going to work that way. He has to move to the back of the line, and I told my coworker if he reaches out to her again to just tell him to try to just turn himself over, go through the legal system. It would probably be better for his case, so he doesn't look at a lot of time in jail. So the contextual settings and times. Freedom House, as I stated before, is a level 3.1 halfway house under the ASAM criteria. We offer structured rehabilitation services for substance use disorders. Staff includes social workers, case managers, licensed clinical and alcohol drug counselors. The place is designed to help people coming out of long-term facilities like that. We're like that middle part of that to get people back into independent living so they can lead full and productive lives. This client was actually doing pretty well in treatment before he decided to leave. I really don't know why he left. I am not sure. The last time I had an interaction with him, he was actually late coming back from a meeting with his sponsor, and I did a UA on him, and everything was negative. It was just out of the blue that he would just leave like this. I was very confused by it. I have not been able to reach out to him. He's not answering the phone for anybody. He called the coworker, and that was about the last time we heard from him. John Doe, that is. So the problem statement is John left treatment prematurely despite the legal obligations. He's facing risks of being violated off probation, incarceration, and he might have relapsed already. We don't know. He told my coworker that he was not under the influence, but when she spoke to him, it sounded like he was under the influence of his drug of choice, which was methamphetamines. He was speaking about a mile a minute. Nothing was really contextual. Everything was all over the place. There was really no timeline the way he was speaking, according to her. So the decision raises concerns about his ability to maintain sobriety, comply with probation conditions, and avoid legal consequences. The broader implications include gaps in addiction recovery services and the need for more flexible interventions tailored to individual needs. So the next slide is the problem statement, the causes and consequences. To understand John's decision, we must consider multiple contributing factors. physiologically, withdrawal symptoms and cravings may have influenced his decision. When he first came into the program, he was actually under the influence. He might have had reservations. I don't think he was, despite his engagement in programming, which was he was doing well at. Like, he was attending all 12-step meetings. He obtained a sponsor. He was working the steps. I think it might have all been for show, and that he was just trying to save himself from potential consequences down the line. So, I believe that he still had reservations to go out and use, which may have influenced his decision, and he may have struggled. He may have struggled with the structured nature of treatment, and I believe family dynamics also played a role because he was involved with the woman of his children as well as another woman, and the mother of his children called up the night he arrived late back from the meeting, saying that the sponsor wasn't really a sponsor and that they didn't go to a meeting, that um, the sponsor took him to a house to use and to meet up with the other woman he's involved with, who was still using currently, supposedly. But when I drug tested him, everything came back negative on the instant cup, so I don't believe that he actually went out that night to use, and that I do believe that he did go to the meeting. So I don't know if he was getting familial support. I know that the mother of his children was really pulling for him to do well, but outside of that, I think his mother was kind of involved too. But outside of that, I don't think he really had anybody. And I would say that at this community level, there may be limited alternative treatment options, and societal factors such as punitive probation policies contribute to a cycle where individuals feel trapped rather than supported. I, there was times when he was asking a lot of questions about the program and how things operated, and I don't know if he really wanted to be at the program or if he was just trying to save himself, as I stated before. So it's really hard to say. So the next is the ideology, gainers and losers slide. So this case, it does raise ethical and ideological questions. Do you believe that recovery should be a personal choice, or should it be mandated by the justice system? Some people believe in harm reduction models where they emphasize individualized care, where as abstinence-based models require strict compliance. In John's case, the stakeholders include the legal system, treatment providers, and John himself. If he successfully maintains recovery on his own, he benefits, obviously. But if he does relapse, he faces legal consequences, the justice system, and public resources do bear the burden. A lot of our clients are funded by Medicaid, or recovery court initiatives, and things of that nature. So it's ultimately the taxpayer who's helping fund our program to help these individuals get help. So moving on, the action plan, I would say, to prevent similar cases like this happening, where the individual leaves treatment against staff advice, we could probably try to implement different strategies, such as transitional support for individuals leaving treatment, because when he left, I don't think he had anywhere to go. I think he went straight to the street. He's probably couch surfing. He's definitely on the run. He's dodging law enforcement right now. It's an unfortunate situation. I was thinking this guy was going to do really well, as stated before. I don't know if it was just for optics that he was complying with treatment. So I was really, really baffled as to why he just suddenly left. Uh, I believe that we need improved collaboration with recovery courts, probation officers, and treatment providers so that we can ensure more flexible, person-centered approaches. My The place I work at and intern at, my practicum society, we're very rigid in the sense that there's nothing really tailored to everybody. It's just like a broad approach to helping people find recovery, which is uh, intensive outpatient programs, 3 hours a day, the 12 steps, groups all the time. We really push the need for sponsorship, and it's unfortunate. Like, I've always believed that we could be a little less rigid and try to offer other alternatives, such as maybe a faith-based approach or smart recovery could also help, but we'll see right that. Another thing that we should probably try to address is systemic barriers, such as housing instability and employment challenges. There's oftentimes when clients come in, they're homeless, they have no idea of what they want to do. We help them budget 50% of their paycheck to hopefully get housing down the line. Uh, a lot of the clients come in and they think that one of our three-quarter houses might be available. It's not always the case, and then we're left scrambling trying to find a spot for these people to go to, and it's unfortunate. So that's just the broader implications of this individual case presentation. But moving on. So the limitations here, uh, ultimately, we do say that clients do have uh, autonomy, and they may still choose to leave treatment. And there's resource constraints and community programs which may hinder implementation, and the legal policies surrounding probation and recovery court may limit flexibility interventions. Uh, Recovery court is very strict, and in the beginning, and then as they go further along the process, they stop leaving you alone, and a lot of clients fall into this mindset that no one's looking after me anymore. I can get away with using, and then bam, just like that, the recovery court officers at the door asking them to take a urinalysis, and then they get sanctioned because their urine comes back positive for whatever substance they've been using. So recovery court, they just give you as much rope as you can hang yourself with. And there might need to be more kinds of checks and balances in that program, and maybe I understand you want to give people a little more autonomy, but some people need that added supervision. It's really a catch-22 when you think about it. So moving on to the next and final slide is the questions I have for the class. How do you think social workers can better support individuals who are court mandated to treatment but resistant to structured recovery programs? And what are some alternative interventions that could reduce the likelihood of early exits from residential treatment? It's been a pleasure sharing this presentation. I hope that you take the time to watch my presentation and think of some alternative solutions like these questions I asked you. Take care. Hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.